የአንዲት ኢትዮጵያ ዋልታና ሀገር ነፍሱን የሰጣት ወታለም ሀገር
From the time I remember, there was always, like relatives, they bring them from, we had the farm, so, and the,
So the farm in Debre Tzahor or the large, the 50
livestock.
acres?
So they need people to farm and ፈልጓቸዋል. So they always brought ከፋርቃ ወልውዶ, which is probably like the farm እና እንትኑ ደግሞ livestock የሚጠብቁ ያመጣሉ. ፋሚሊ ሜምበርስ ናቸው. ኤክስቴንድድ ፋሚሊ እና ሰራተኛ የሚያደርጉ ብዙ ጊዜ የሚሰሩ እነሱ ናቸው። ብሪንግዛ ያርሳሉ፣ ፋርም ያደርጋሉ፣ ከብት ይጠብቃሉ። የሚኖሩት ከኛ ጋር ነው። የሚበሉት they're just like us, the family, it's የናምቤ as I told you split ካረጉ በኋላ ፕሮፐርቲ እንትኑን ቢዝነሱን, but the farming continued. So and what I remember is he has service quarter, the kitchen, ማድ ቤቱ ከሁለት ተከፈለና የኛ ባብዬ ፋርም የሚያደርጋቸው ላንድ የገዛው ነበር. People cannot afford, like when their father died, they couldn't keep it up, they needed the cash. So they will sell the land.
Okay.
So, people who have the money will buy the land. They will come and ask you to buy it actually. They don't, it's kind of, you don't want to sell it to people that are not reliable. ጥሩ ሰዎች ያልሆኑ አይሸጡላቸው። የሚታወቁ ሰዎች ትረስት ወርዚ ለሆኑ ሰዎች ነው የሚሸጡት ላንድ እና they start buying land separately. So ያን separate እንትን ሲሆን then each of them start ከፓርታ እንትን ፋሚሊዎችን extended ፋሚሊዎችን ያመጧቸዋል. Then they live with us, they ይደረጋሉ. The interesting part is they will ያጋቧቸዋል። በኋላ የሚያጋቧቸው ደግሞ የእናቶቻችን ዘመዶች ወይም ደግሞ ሬላቲቭስ የሚታወቁ ሰዎች እና they become independent.
Okay.
So whatever they farm, they will get like 1/4 of it.
Okay.
So they become independent. This is just like one of the things that I admire and really learn from their way of doing things is, how they supported others, how they helped others to become self-sufficient. And then, ቤት ብዙ ቦታ ስለነበረ they will build a small house for them. And then they have their own farm, Then they bring another one.
Okay.
Then they bring another one. So it goes on until, they finally took the land from us. You are only allowed to keep one property. So everything that we owned was nationalized. That is what socialism did. And then it actually a family structure, a society, dismantle ያደረገ But in any way, one of the things that my memories, then what happened is it's funny. In the evening, I think, I don't know what grade I was. And then instead of sleeping in the big house, ሱቁ ማደር ጀመር። ለማጥናት እንዲመቸኝ እኔ ብዙ ሰው ስለሆን it's very hard to study. So then what happened is ከሱቁ እኔና ጠሌ አንድ ላይ እንተኛለን። So but everybody is asleep. So what we do is when we go to the souk, ማድ ቤቱ እንሄዳለን where everybody, like the ከብት ጠባቂዎቹ ፋርም የሚያረጉትም ቁጭ ብለው እሳት ፋየር ፒት አድርገው ማድ ቤቱ ሰራተኞቹ ሴቶቹ they are all families, different side ያወራሉ እና በጣም እንትናቸው በጣም ኢንተረስቲንግ ነው የሚያወሩት። እኛ instead of going and studying and sleeping, we'll sit there.
So you're listening. የእነሱ ምንድን ነው ጋስፕ ወይስ ወሬ እየሰማችሁ?
Gossip, yeah, and also እንትን ሲበራረቡ እንዴት until I went to high school Addis Ababa.
Hold on.
Very interesting.
That part cut out.
At what age?
No, I was saying that the last part. Hold on, let me switch Wi-Fi. I think Yenny.
Yeah, until break freeze aragan.
Okay, so hold on. Let me switch the Wi-Fi to which one is better. Let me disconnect from that and connect again. And let's see. All right, so we should be better now. So that you said before you went to, I lost you before you went to Addis Ababa.
Oh no, Yanna, I continued until I went to high school.
Okay. So you guys would go to the madved, and then from that point on, you'd go souk tihedallachu kaza wala?
No, lematanyat. Oh yeah.
So explain. Yeah, explain that setup.
Souk የምንሄደው ልንተኛ ነው. On the front side, souk አለ ሾፑ.
Okay.
On the back side, there is a room with a bed.
Oh, so it's in the back. It's in the back of the shop.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's where we sleep. And then Yenamdem እንደዚሁ ነው, the same way. It's all into Medina. It's like a row house. So the next one is Yenambe. Then the same thing. You got the souk and the back.
Okay.
So በዛ ጊዜ ሱቅ የሚጠብቀው አላምኔ ነበር። እሱ ደግሞ ልክ እንደነ ዮናስ የአንድ አያት ልጆች ነን, and he was working for Ambai.
So where did he sleep?
Oh, in the souk, in Ambai souk. You remember?
Oh, so it's the other side. Okay, yeah. I see.
It's next. It's like a row house.
Okay. All right. So basically, it's two shops, two split up shops, and two quarters behind them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And Yanna Suku Damo, if you remember Betu, it starts from the market Arada and it goes all the way. I don't know about now, but it's all connected. Okay. It's row houses, all the souks.
Okay.
Everybody, different people own it, but Taizo, they are all connected. There is a wall that divides it and a property line, but it's all connected. The souks alone, it's like a row house. Okay. Really, from our house all the way to the center of the town, Arada, Mahal Arada. So then, we can sometimes talk. If it's not late, we'll talk to each other. The corridor, like the wall is not completely closed, so we can talk to each other. before we sleep.
Oh,
Sometimes.
really? Okay. So it's like a open office space type thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that is what I remember on that part. And the other thing in terms of uh, my memory, which I don't forget, is you know you can't go to the bathroom during the day.
Why?
That was a torture.
Why?
Like you go in the morning, and then during the day, you can go and shint. You can go anywhere and shint.
Yeah.
So everybody goes. But if you go for the other one, you have to go to the hall.
Yeah. I still saw it. I remember the pit, man. Look, that was an experience in and of itself. Especially, hey, Mata. Remember, it was like midnight, and Chalama Bachana, brother. So you're like, hey, dude, I don't want to hop in here, man. And there were no cell phones back then, sitting here. So, oh man, yeah, I can't imagine.
So anyway, if you are Setoch Kahok, you have to do it in the morning and do it in the evening after dawn.
Okay.
So that was the hardest, but you train yourself, So that was the torture. And then what I remember is, this is just for you. You will be standing by balcony line, and then ሴቶቹ ስንሄድ ካየች አንተ አራም ሁሉ ትላለች። I mean, she said, that is terror. So you come back, Eventually you train yourself to hold it all day, okay?
Okay. Wow. That's insane.
Now you're freezing, Tom.
Yeah. It just froze again. Let me. Yeah.
Hello?
Yep. I think it froze. Damn it. Hold up. Let me switch Wi-Fi. Again. It's the problem with technology. Checking.
Wait.
Damn it. Hold on.
Long time ago.
Wait, hold on 1 second, Etienne. That part. So Nanta, when she was embarrassing you guys.
You did only like the dawn and dusk. Okay. So, but sometimes you just you're forced. You want to go, but it's like a training a dog or something that if she sees us during the day going to the hall, she will come out and say, "Ante haram hulu."
So
I mean,
so is that? Yeah. But I'm saying, is it worse to go? Is that because there's some they didn't want women or girls to go in the daytime, or is it just a personal pet peeve for her?
No, it is just a cultural thing.
Okay.
They don't want that to happen. But I mean, in our case, she was very mild. She was police woman, everything you name it. She was terror, man. But then anyway, that's just for you.
Yeah.
As a cultural, yes.
Okay.
So that was what I remember. And the other thing is, going to my godmother, it balance. And now, she was malnourished. She didn't have any child. Originally, she is from Warno. Now she had no relative in Devra Tower, but she was a very interesting lady. የጣሊያኖች ውሽማ ነበረች. You know ውሽማ, right?
No. What is Wishima?
Ushima is, well, mistress.
Oh, really?
Mistress or girlfriend.
Okay.
Not girlfriend, yeah. And
Wishima.
she had kind of high status እንትን ነበረች። ባር ነበራት። ባር ስል ያው ጠላ፣ አረቄ፣ ጠጅ ምናምን የሚሸጥበት።
So ጠጅ ቤት basically.
አዎ። እና ዛት ዘ ሪዝን መሀን ስለነበረች እና ሬላቲቭ ስለሌላት my mother and my father, they said, let's just let's one start below no እንትን ያደረጉት። እና she was my yeah.
Okay.
Now I will, but because she is ባር ያላት ስለሆነች ልጅ እያለሁ we used to go. I mean
to the bar. You're saying to her bar.
Yeah, to her house.
Okay, to her house. Okay.
But by then, she was not really. She was old. She got old really. She was an old lady. Just imagine, but Alian Gize in the 1935.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. So by that point, yeah. Okay.
No, she was not really. But she was very nice and kind. And the funny thing is, she had this. I mean, here I see it, the Japanese make those sweaters.
Yeah.
The sweaters that she had, Misomi, or it's a very expensive brand. He had those sweaters. The Italians, I guess it was they made it, and it was, but now the Japanese is the only place they make it. It's made out of silk, and it's very fine. It's very expensive, A T-shirt would cost you about 200 something. Now, yeah, that kind of brand, because I never even forget how it looks and all that. And so she had those sweaters, and she had big suitcase. It's made out of metal and wood. So all her stuff, the gifts the Italians gave her, it was in a big suitcase, and she brought it, and she didn't want it to be stolen, so she had it in our house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so when we were young, we'll take it out of the suitcase and wear it and try it, because it was just...
It was high fashion, I don't know. Yeah.
But But in any way, that was, and I would run into her. It was probably 3 minutes from our house, not even, and we ran all the time anyway. So I used to go to her house. Then those are the things that about 2 minutes from her house was my aunt's house in Babiye. They had only one sister, Naparacho.
Okay, some more.
Akal. Suma. Mawayish, no, actually, real Suma. Mawayish. But we call her Akal.
Okay. And that's about, that's their only sister?
Yeah, the only sister.
And that was about 5 minutes away from you guys.
From us, yeah.
Okay.
And her color was like Ambaye, if you remember Ambaye's color.
Yep.
And her hair was just like, I've never seen any hair, I mean, as beautiful as, it was just, it's like the Indians, but it's curly.
Okay.
And it's always long. But then her husband, Gasha no ምንለው የነበረው ደበብ ነው ግን ሪያል ስሙ። እና anyway, when she was not going to have, she had children, but they kept dying. 3 of them, I think. So none of them survived. So finally, I mean, she allowed him to have children from someone she knew, a woman. We know her also. Mama Dinke ነው የምትባለው። ሁለት ሴቶች ወለደ። ፈለቀችን I think you have met her, አዲስ አበባ. We went to her house.
Okay.
She's ሌላ ደግሞ አዘዘች ነበር የምትባለው።
Okay.
So he had two girls.
Okay.
And they were like, because she decided, there is no reason for it. But, that is, and then her house is just like, she had a garden in her back. That's why I always remember. She had cabbages and she had kale, collard. So the fun part about going to her house was just the garden part. And then her talla was always good, so, every day we have to run and visit, it's like, because she had no children. So my mother would say, did you go and see your aunt? It's like, anyway, that's what I remember. The other part, which is really an amazing thing I remember, I don't know at what age, እንትናን እጠይቃታለሁ ጽጌን የክንዴን እህት ወይም ክንዴን ራሱን እጠይቀዋለሁ። I don't know at what age, because they are older than me, but they will tell me when it started. Our grandmother, my mother, Mohai, her name is Turunesh, እውነተኛ ስሟ። እኛ ግን ሞሃይ ነው የምንላት።
Okay.
She, September, she will invite her children and the grandchildren into her small house. And then we'll stay there for a week. I don't know how many of us, literally, honestly, but we have to count it. Not now, but yeah, in Nakande.
So is that
Probably at least 5 or 6 of them.
Okay. So
Yeah.
the New Year, no, or
The New Year, yeah,
Okay.
New Year,
Okay.
yeah. New Year and አንድ ቀን አሳልፈን the next day ነው start የሚያደርገው።
Okay.
Then አንድ ወንድ ልጅ ነበራት። እሱ የእሱ ልጆች ራርዬ ንግሩ then we'll stay in that little house for a week. He cooks. We're not allowed to go out of the house. It's like a family reunion.
Okay.
Once I came here, I realized, that is what she was doing. But, I mean, we eat all day, we talk, we play, but you're not allowed to go out for that whole week. Just imagine that a house probably as big as our living room, not the big living room, the other one. That's it. Madbeito. How we slept, I don't even know.
The logistics,
honestly.
yeah. The logistics of what's the name. So basically, a marit line number. So what you mean?
Marit line number. I mean, the food was amazing. Different kinds of. That's the only time like you make it around the New Year. I guess when you are kids, as long as you eat and you play and you don't really, the only time you go out is to pee and and all that, and you come back. But we don't go to our houses until that week is finished. So.
And she did this.
Yeah.
So how long do you remember this for? Like how many years do you remember this for?
Oh, until I came to this country.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was happening.
Okay.
So, and then she got old. She died at the age of 96 or 97.
Wow.
So she moved with Kanakandi Nata.
Okay.
And let me say, my father loved her. He was a giant. I mean, in everything. He was like a metal. He lost her, my mother is the oldest, and her father's name is Warkana. So she doesn't even know her father. He died when my grandmother was pregnant. So my grandmother remarried. የእነ ክንዴን እናት አባት አባብተው ይባላል።
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah, my mother is working.
Okay.
Is her real father, but she never,
She never met him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my grandmother remarried, and his name is Ababito. And then I think she had like 6 or 7 children. In Kandenat, Nerariye, Lelochimad.
Okay.
Then I literally brought up what Ababito much. So nobody even knows that, she had a different father.
Okay.
So, but we met some of the relatives on my grandfather working aside, the one who died.
Mm-hmm.
They are all light skinned. I mean, they're like Nabi.
Mm-hmm.
Their hair is like Nabi.
Mm-hmm.
They are tall. They look like Spaniards, not the Spanish in South America,
Mm-hmm.
but they just look like, they don't look like Ethiopians.
Okay.
I mean, and my mother was very light skin also. I mean, very light skin.
Okay.
But she had her mother's hair, the kinky hair,
Uh-huh.
but she didn't get the hair. But the others, from hair top to bottom, they don't look like Ethiopians. So we met some of them, hopefully, it's just, their lips are all, like red, and their skin is just like, I mean, it's just unique. And I never really get a chance to, because of the situation. But that is on that part. But in any way, she stayed, once she got older, my grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
she stayed with Kindi's mother.
Okay.
My father wanted to bring her, but, and my father, I'll come back to that, but she said, no, everybody else said it should be better off with my aunt,
Mm-hmm.
because my mother died, which I haven't come to that part of it. Just from memory, that's what I remember in Dabra Tower. Then, I think when I finished 8th grade, there was no high school, but they were building. So my Babi had said, and it was too small for me. I was just like too, far ahead in everything. So he asked Ambi, ትምህርት ቤት አዳሪ ትምህርት ቤት እንዲፈልግልኝ. And Ambi then, the story of Ambi. I told you that Babi. So even when Ambi was going to teacher training, he was giving him pocket money, lips, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And money, they gave him like the other relatives I told you. He used to go with them to the Sudan and all that. So they gave him money. They helped him to be independent. So he started his own business, which is ልብስ መስፋት እና ልብስ ይሰፉና ያንን ልብሱን ገበያ they take it to the market, ቅዳሜ ገበያ ቅዳሜ የሚሆን ሰኞ ገበያ አለ፣ አርብ ገበያ. then they load it እንትን አህያ ላይ በቅሎ ላይ they will take it to the market and sell it. Suri, coat, not the winter coat, but the other coat, jet above, like the Indian type of thing.
Outfit. Style. Okay.
Yeah, so he became also independent. And then Ambi, of course, went to school.
So did Ambi go to school in Dabra Tower and Gondar, Baradar, or Addis Ababa?
No, he went to Dabra Tower, Then ከዛ በኋላ he went to teacher training. ጎንደር ሄደ 2 years ተማረ high school. Then I think from the 10th grade or 11th grade, they take them into teacher training school, which is in Addis Ababa.
Okay.
So he finished that, he became a teacher, and then he was assigned in Gorgora in Gondar. So that's where he was teaching. That's when I finished 8th grade, and then Bobby asked, oh, no, not then, no. Then he taught for how many years? I don't remember. Then he went to medical school in Gondar. So when he was, going to medical school, Bobby was helping him. Money, the boss by then had his own business, so he was helping him. Then I finished 8th grade. The year Ambi finished medical school, not medical school, public health officer, which is a 4 or 5 years program. So he became a health officer. And then he was assigned in Awasa. I finished 8th grade, and Bobby had told him to find me a boarding school. So Ambi said, no, I'm not going to make you pay for it. You have helped me. So he said, I will pay for it. And then the boarding school, Tegnaman was 400
Jesus.
We eat there. We live there. The only thing is, you buy your uniform and your personal things.
So so one more time, the name of the boarding school, and then where was it located?
Addis Ababa.
And what's the name of the school again?
High school. That was girls' school.
Okay.
That's the first girls' school opened in
Addis. Okay.
So it was አራት መቶ ብር ነበር እሱ ሐዋሳ ሄደ then 8th grade ጨረስ the end of the school year about I think it was like June my mom actually she was discovered with the cancer maybe like in May or something of this is 1968 in the European calendar. And that's when I went to Addis Ababa in 1968. I finished September, yeah. And that's 68, the end of the 9th grade. My mom was discovered with cancer. They did the surgery in Bahar Dar and removed her breasts. But at that time, well, he didn't. My father didn't tell us, but the doctor told him she has only 6 months to live. So they didn't have chemo in Bahar Dar, but they told him that there is a chemotherapy in Addis Ababa. So she came. And that's when I was about to finish the school year. So she did the chemo. And then, like Ambi, was about, he was assigned after he stayed in, it's not even a year, in Awasa. He was transferred to the police hospital in Addis Ababa. And then he was living with Kumfa's father, Ramasha, in the same house. They moved together. So that's when my mother was doing the chemotherapy. And I was about to finish the school year. And then she did the chemo for a month. The school year ended in June, so we went together to Dabra Tawa for the cramps, the summer, because school doesn't open until September.
So you, your mom, and did Ambi go, or is it just the two you all?
The two of us,
Okay.
yeah, because Ambi is working in Addis, the police hospital, and Amesh, Kunta's father, and Ambi were living together.
Okay.
So during that time, on weekends, you are allowed to go home. I mean, family, if you have a family in Addis Ababa. So they used to come and pick me up Friday evening, and then I will be returning Sunday.
Okay.
And that's like up to me if I wanted to go or not.
Okay.
So that's how it worked.
So on weekends you'd be at Ambi and Kipfe's father's house.
Right. And then we went to Dabra Tabo. Samarun Asalat. Summer is always the hardest thing because it's rainy, you cannot get mano. The winter in Ethiopia is Chicano Dabra Tabo. So I can't go out and play anyway because I have reached that age of, puberty. So you're stuck in the house. You go to your aunt's house and all that. But then once you leave the Brasabo, you don't have that much of, like when you're in the Brasabo, you love to go to places, your aunts and all that. But we'll plan, like the friends that stayed, and the high school opened, by the way, that year. It got finished.
Okay. So the
But
summer.
I had already, I was already signed for the boarding school, and I really don't want to stay there. My mother cried. I mean, I think to this day, one of the things that, I have forgiven myself, is she cried for me not to go to Addis Ababa. I mean, day and night. I mean, when you are a teenager,
yeah, of course.
Like,
that's par for the course. So.
And then guess what happened? The same year she got the cancer. So in any way, that's something I have to. But I have forgiven myself. I did what.
That's called being a human. No normal person operates outside of what is normal, right? So that's par for the course. So that's the.
Oh yeah.
So,
anyway, the going back in the rainy season was bad, but I always met with since the high school opened, most of my friends stayed there. They didn't go anywhere. I think it's only Nena and Dayo Channel, and Dayo is now in Seattle.
And Dayo is who again?
And Dayo Kendeno Suma. እሷ ደግሞ ጎበዝ ነበር ሁለታችን እና እኔን የሀብታም ልጅ ብለው ነው ፈረንጆቹ ለእኔ ያልከፈሉልኝ ፒስኮር ቲቸርስ ነበሩን I have to tell you about the Peace Corps. Okay, one thing brings another, but anyway, starting 7th grade, the Peace Corps started coming to Ethiopia. እና አንድ ሴት አስተማሪ ነበረች፣ ሁለት ወንዶች ነበሩ። እቴት ባርኔት እና ካሮላይን ነበሩ።
አሁን ይሄ ደብረ ታቦር ነው ወይስ
ደብረ ታቦር? I went back to Dabra Tabo. You see, it's sorry because you know how stories.
No. I'm saying so. I just want to make sure that so the Peace Corps teachers.
Dabra Tabo 7th grade. Yeah.
Okay, so this is in middle school in 7th grade. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The middle school.
Okay.
So the Peace Corps started coming, and then we had 3. So they were very supportive because they were smart kids. Dayo Nane, Betacho Sosto, they lived together. Caroline, Barnett, Pettit. And now they will take us to their house, and they have this library, and they will give us like tea and cookies, and they will make us read in their library for the whole day. I mean, literally,
Uh-huh.
I mean, then, the pictures, that's what really American mind the pictures that I saw on their wall, the books that I saw, I said, no, I'm not living in Ethiopia. There is no way. So that's when I set my mind.
So basically, the influence came from the pictures at the Peace Corps teachers. What's the name?
Yeah.
And do you remember specifically what is it that you saw? Is it do you remember, or is it just a general gist in terms of?
And just like everything I saw was what was me. Like how you want to. I always dressed differently. One of the things that my thing was, even before the Peace Corps came,
Mhm.
I always wore short dresses.
Mhm.
Um, I did my hair. I don't know. I think some of the also may have influenced me is like the newspaper,
Mhm.
like, or the magazine that's, they bring it to Dabra Tower. That's what you use in the Sukkar Damashat
Mhm.
to make it like a cone.
Oh yeah, the cone, yeah,
Yeah,
and you wrap
yeah,
it up,
yeah.
yeah.
So you use newspaper and magazine.
Uh-huh.
So I think part of it was that also. So I will take some of the magazine and post it on the wall.
Uh-huh.
So it just, but I think they kind of solidified it for me. I was just not going to, um,
Settle and let
yeah,
So
yeah,
basically, it was it just added to it, reiterated.
yeah. So what they did is, I think part of it was probably my fault. I told them my brother was going to pay for it, and they knew Nababi. They know who is who. So they're some of the well-to-do people in the Tower. So in Dayogan, her mother was Shurban Mitzara, and they were divorced. And she was living with her grandmother. And now boarding school, American mission, high school number, boarding school. እዛ እናስገባታለናል
Okay.
እና that is እንትን የፒስኮሮቹ እንትን ያደረጉ in any way ስንመጣም አዲስ አበባ that's the first time we have been in a plane. It was a DC-9, the army thing, the DC-9 plane, the army's use.
Oh, so በአውሮፕላን ነው አዲስ አበባ የሄዳችሁ?
Oh, that's
Okay.
about,
Okay.
it was a DC-9, you sit, it's like a whole bench,
Oh, so it's like you said, it's a military plane.
Yeah, military, yeah, but
Okay.
that's what they use to fly people from Dabra Tower to Bahadar and Addis Ababa and
Okay.
Gondar.
Okay.
But in any way, the experience I don't forget in the plane is, that's the first time we had Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
So, in that you drank the whole Coke.
Uh-huh.
And then, we're sitting in next to each other, right?
Uh-huh.
Then he's throw up.
Oh, really?
So, yes. And I still see the guy, Yastawokat. It was just like going on the plane, it doesn't have a carpet or anything. It's just metal.
Yeah.
And you could see the whole thing flowing all the way down.
Oh, man.
So that was an experience. And, we have our mother, if she smells something or if she hears somebody throwing up, she'll throw up. So then I started doing it because I saw her throwing.
Oh, man.
But I did it in the bag.
Oh, okay.
Because somebody, one of the guys saw us and he brought us. But that's how we went to Addis Ababa. And the Peace Corps actually have. But in any way, one of the Peace Corps teacher actually sent me. He lives in Washington State. He's a dentist now. I had no idea. They had my picture and they were promoting it for
Peace
the
Corps?
Peace Corps.
ጎንደር ጎንደር የቴዎድሮስ ሀገር የአንዲት ኢትዮጵያ ዋልታና ሀገር ነፍሱን የሰጣት